Tonight, shocking and revolting behavior allegedly caught on a webcam. The former chief weapons inspector for the United Nations busted in a child sex sting. The allegations are downright horrifying. Scott Ritter accused of pleasuring himself on camera for what he thought was a 15-year-old girl. He's a father, a husband, and a former Marine. And this isn't the first time he's faced this kind of controversy. Issues starts now. The former chief weapons inspector for the United Nations busted in a child sex sting. Scott Ritter was a highly respected UN official who became famous arguing, correctly as it turns out, that there were no WMDs, weapons of mass destruction, in Iraq. Now he is at the center of a completely different storm. Tonight, he is an accused child predator. Detectives say Ritter was trolling chat rooms looking for cyber sex with teenage girls. He allegedly started chatting up a girl named Emily. Cops say he then turned on his webcam and sent her explicit videos of himself allegedly masturbating on camera, even after she told him, "I'm just 15. Cops say what Ritter didn't know was that Emily was really an undercover detective.
I'm wondering if we can talk to you about some charges that have been alleged against you.
No, I'm sorry. There'll be no comment.
Is there any statement you'd like to make at all?
No, ma'am.
Ritter is the father of 2 teenage daughters. Now, straight out to my fantastic expert panel. Former criminal investigator Steve Kardian. Psychologist Brenda Wade, we need you tonight, my dear. Criminal defense attorney Mark Eiglarsh and investigative reporter Michelle Sagona of michellesagona.com. But we begin with New York Daily News reporter Bill Hutchinson. Bill, dare we ask, what is the very latest?
Well, the very latest is that Mr. Ritter has been charged with felony counts that could carry 7 years in prison if he's convicted. And what we understand that this occurred back in February in a small town in Pennsylvania called Barrett Township, where police were doing an undercover investigation into these cyber predators trolling for young girls.
Do you ever go into an internet chat room looking for teenage girls to have a sexual encounter of any sort with? How about that?
Aaron, I will respond the same way, this way till Sunday. I was arrested in June 2001, charged with a Class B misdemeanor. I stood before a judge and the case was dismissed. The file was sealed, and I certainly wish you and everyone else would respect that.
That case was dismissed.
But I do want to mention that this starts at home. This is not obviously your unemployed person sitting in their basement that is, trolling these sites to prey on children. These are obviously educated people that are going out and targeting kids, and that's why parents need to be aware of what their children are doing and to be able to educate them on the steps and the signs if they are going to be in these chats.
Yeah.
Jane, you talk about, addictions, and this type of an addiction is it's an unquenchable thirst. These guys, they look at, it's like they hadn't eaten in 2 days and there's a steak in front of them. They get this urge. It's uncontrollable.
Well, having a computer steak in my case. Go ahead.
Yeah. Having a computer in his house is like having a bar in an alcoholic's basement. It's something he's going to go to, he's going to go back to, and he's going to repeat, and they do come from all walks of life.
And again, he has not been convicted of anything.
Yes.
Go ahead, yes. Brenda Wade, psychologist. We need you.
This is exactly, Jane, you know this. This is exactly the definition of addiction. Someone who can't stop performing compulsive behavior. They feel absolutely compelled, no matter the risk to themselves, the harm to the child that they're interacting with. Absolutely,
America
Jane.
has to reconsider its perception of what predators look like. The hit show, To Catch a Predator, aired on NBC, and it caught all types of guys in the act. Take a look.
Sir, please don't destroy my career. What do you do for a living? Finishing up in the military.
Also among the more memorable visitors, these 2 men who walked into our home naked.
What are you doing? Making a mistake.
Host Chris Hansen even caught a rabbi hoping to meet a 13-year-old boy. Our image of a predator, Michelle Sagona, you've done so much work on this, simply does not reflect the reality that it's often the average middle class and, yes, married man. The stats show 1 in 5 children 10 to 17 years of age get unwanted sexual solicitations online. Isn't this part of the larger problem? And I'll go to Steve Kardian, because you did an undercover investigation into problems involving women at bars, but all of this stuff is interconnected.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
It's very much interconnected, Jane. It's all a part of what is the bigger problem and the bigger picture in the United States today and across the world, with human trafficking, with the internet and our computer age that allows these predators to spread their tentacles, if you will, and prey upon our young. So you're exactly right.
Mark Eiglar's final word is, does he have any defense? I mean, could he say, hey, I was doing this, but I wasn't directing it at XYZ?
He can say that. It's not going to prevail. 2 words, plea bargain. Probably that's what we're going to see in this case. He'll spare his family any further embarrassment and get the lowest possible sentence that he can get.
All right. Thank you. Fantastic panel.